What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to bring you a branded Despia deck profile. Now, in all honesty's sake, I have not been playing branded for too long, so I'm not 100% on everything. But so far, other than like making really bad side deck choices or misplaying, the deck on its own is good. If you take me out of the picture, a bad pilot, sure, it's a really good deck. So let's go ahead and run right through that, get this out of the way. Starting it off, you've got 3 Fallen of Albaz. Crazy good card. Especially if you don't, you get no interruption, discard, fusion summon away their stuff. Really good going second. Doesn't do too crazy much going first. Pretty good. Got 3 Aluber. So it's going to be your starter. Search your branded fusion. But if you've already got a branded fusion in hand, you go ahead and bait it. Search a branded lost instead. That way it can't respond to your fusion. Alright, gonna cut that. Had a little camera issue there, but anyway, yeah. If you already have a branded fusion in hand, go ahead and search your lost. That way they can't respond. We've got 2 Tragedy. So you either gonna send it, get its graveyard effect, add a Despia monster, or if you don't need to do that, banish it, add back a branded spell or trap. You're usually gonna be adding back. Setting branded expulsion, so you could keep repeating the Ra's Disciple combo to keep locking them out, your opponent out of specialing or attributing, whatnot. And to round it off, 1 lone Despian Comedy right over here. So basically, if your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a Despia, you can just send to the graveyard and negate it. Got a Dramaturge, 1 Ad Libitum, and 1 Albion the Shrouded Dragon. Albion, usually use it to just dump off the branded openings. You can get some more protection for your fusions in the grave. It's all them, nice extender. These 2 are self-explanatory, dump our fusions, bring them back from the grave, yada yada. Alright. Got 1 Incredible Ecclesia. I like it going second. Special. Tribute yourself for cost, so you can't really do a whole lot of responding. Summon a Fallen of Albaz, get your combos going. You got 2 Edgem Chain. I think 3 can be a little bit too bricky. You don't want to see it too often, but I think 2 is really good for the Patchwork engine. You're playing for hand traps. 3 Nibiru, which is pretty good against, you're looking at Tier Elements, or maybe that Sprite's dead, so you don't really gotta worry about that going on. But it hits a lot of rogue, a bunch of rogue options, so don't play too many hand traps. Alright, so the Flashlight is just not gonna work. But anyway, 2 DD Crow, it hits a lot of stuff, particularly, I'm really trying to go for anti-tier here. It's what a lot of is going on my locals, so just Crow, Nib, stuff like that for tier. And 1 Ra's Disciple. Don't want to draw it, don't want to see it, unless you're dumping it off of the Fusion, Rebellion, Albion, whatever. You don't want to draw it. But, even if you do, just discard it, get in the grave. You don't even have to do that, but just for the combo. And for the spells, the best card in the game, not in the game, but best card in the deck, Branded Fusion. Absolutely cracked, gets all your plays going, you want to see it. You have so many ways to get to it. You got the opening, Aluber, so many ways to get Branded Fusion. Pretty cracked card. I'll be playing 3 Branded Opening, so just discard 1, especially on the Aluber, Search, Branded Fusion, yada yada. I'm looking at out of the way. We got 2 Branded in red for particularly, usually you're going to be summoning Guardian Chimera over this, and 1 Branded Lost. I like Branded Lost at 1. It's good. Can't respond to your summoning of fusion monsters, and then when you do fusion summon, you can add 1. It's pretty nice. And 1 Theater of the Brand. Doesn't come off too often, but usually if you've already got a branded fusion or something like that in hand, search that off the Aluber, and then you can fusion summon with the cards on your hand or your field. It's pretty good. And then if a non-fairy fusion leaves the field, you can summon something from your grave once per turn. Pretty nice, pretty nice. the patchwork fight. For patchwork engine, you're gonna be looking at 2 patchwork and then 2 mixed rarities polymerization. Like I said, you're gonna be playing 2 edge 2 patchwork, 2 poly. Don't want to clog up your hands with too much of the patchwork engine, but it is very good just to put more bodies on the board. And 3 super poly. Absolutely insane card. It hits a ton of stuff, you know, rogue options, tier, you know, very repetitive with the tier, but yeah, just don't mess with tier like that. Me personally, get out of the way. We're looking at 2 mismatched Allure of Darkness. I was thinking of 3, but draw power isn't like first and foremost, because usually if you're going first, you're just gonna want to be setting up the expulsion combo, and normally, well, most of the time you want to play it safe. You don't want to overextend, so I usually like to Mirror Jade Aluber, Mirror Jade banish the Aluber, because it's happened to me far too many times. Summon Mirror Jade, you have another fusion out before you can even expulsion Super Poly, and expulsion's dead. So I try not to overextend after all that stuff. 3 Dark Ruler, so pretty good. Going second. If you're going first, just pitch it off of something. You don't really gotta hold on to it. Droplet, Forbidden Droplets would also be good, but I just prefer Dark Ruler. I don't really want to lose hand advantage. Don't really want to be discarding too much stuff all the time necessarily. And for the last build is Called by the Grave. Just I mean, no one's really playing Ash, so I mean, you're not really hitting too much stuff, but it's always good to just have around if they do happen to play Ash. You know, you want to have as many ways to stop the negation of the branded fusion. And moving on to the traps, we only play 2 traps. You know, I've seen some people play 1, but I really like the 2. Very, you know, they work in different situations. So you got 1 Branded Expulsion, one of the best cards in the deck, and Branded Banishment. Branded Banishment is very self-explanatory, I think. You know, summon something from the grave, fusion summon, yada yada, basically a super poly. But Branded Expulsion is the main combo line you're going to want to be going with this. So, in essence, you're just going to be summoning the Mirror Jade, usually have something else on the field, usually an Aluber. Mirror Jade, banish the Aluber or whatever else you have on the field, dump an Albion, and then Albion. You already used Albion at that point, so you've got a Light Engrave, Raw's Disciple, and Fawn of Albaz, doesn't matter. On your opponent's turn, go ahead and flip the Expulsion, tributing the Mirror Jade, giving them the Disciple, and you can get either the Aluber to search a branded card, or if you want to let them start popping off a little bit, summon the Albaz special into another Aluber with their monster. So that will be it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. We're looking at 2 Mirror Jade, insane boss monster, board wipe, you know, banish, it's just crazy, banishes for cost, always nice to see. We're looking at 3 Albion. Usually is going to be what you're going to be going into for your branded fusion to dump a light, being Raw's Disciple. But if you're going second, it doesn't. I mean, you're really not going to be Raw's Disciple and walking them. So you guys send the Ecclesia, the Virtuous, good light. Just an absolutely good card. Always send that from Mary Jade when you can. And then it's in the end phase. You can set. Normally, we're going first. Again, branded expulsion, my bad. But he also has a branded red, branded lost, branded opening, yada yada. The one of Lubellion. Don't really find going into Lubellion too much until I've already gone into the Albion. I'll already run through the Raw Disciple combo, and then Lubellion is usually, I use it to dump a Tragedy in the grave, banish a Tragedy, set the Expulsion, and do the whole lock over again. So you're just recurring the lock. It's just very consistent. Got 2 Masquerade, self-explanatory, 600, pay 600 every time you activate an effect. It's pretty nice, especially if you're going in time. 1 Quertus, make everything 0 attack and 0 defense, and 1 Alba Lenidus with the Bestial stuff going around. dragons are going to be a lot more prevalent, so you're going to have to set that Fallen of Albaz face down and then just blow up the whole board, basically. Moving on to the super poly targets, we've got one Mud Dragon of the Swamp, one Predaplant, Starving Venom, Garura, and the one Guardian Chimera. Might bump this up to 2, taking out the Starving Venom. That can be a little bit redundant with the Predaplant Dragostapeli already in there, but it can come up if you're playing like Rogue or something like that. The Garura doubles the the damage it inflicts, and if it goes to grave, you just draw 1. More draw power. Guardian Chimera pops 2 on the field. Well, it pops with how many cards you use from the hand to summon it. But yeah, really good to pop stuff on the field. And Muddy Mud Dragon, self-explanatory. So that is going to be it for the extra deck. And finally, we're going to go to the side deck. I did a couple changes. Like I said, I goofed pretty hard. Flipped my own anti-spell. Realized that you probably shouldn't be playing anti-spell in a branded deck. You win some, you lose some. I have not been playing competitively too long. Again, take my advice with a grain of salt. But got a 1 Feather Duster, beautiful card, great card. 2 Cyclone. Go ahead and banish that Mystic Mine. Pay 1,000. 3 Silent Graveyard. Abyss Dweller, basically. No effects in grave activate. Discard 1. Rest in peace to your limits. Game 2. Moving on to some traps. Got 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier. So works really good in the mirror match. Looks really good against synchros if you're playing against Sword Soul, Tier Elements, Call Fusions, Math Mechs, Xyz, etc. Exo Sisters, Xyz. Just go ahead and pass your turn. Got 2 copies of Summon Limit. So, you build up your whole board, go and lock on Summon Limit, have fun. And then finally, we're going to get 1 Macro Cosmos and 3 different Dimension Grounds. This is a very anti-tier deck. I definitely do despise tier. I don't want to see it. I don't want to interact with it. I want them to have just as bad a time as I'm having. So, just citing a ton of anti-tier stuff. But I have been playing with the semi locals frequently enough. I've seen decent success, Have yet to go 3-0, but again, I am not the best pilot, so it can have better showings. A side deck could use a little bit more work, but I am overall happy with the results that I'm seeing. So I think that's going to be it. And if you guys have any recommendations or any advice for stuff that I should change, stuff like that, feel free to drop that in the comments. But other than that, that'll be it.